Hey, today we're going to look at representing rational numbers on the number line. So, how can you find and position -5/4 and -1 and 75 hundredths on number lines? You have these two number lines here. It says write -5/4 and -1 75 hundredths as mixed numbers, then plot the points on the number lines. The mixed number reason is because it helps you kind of realize, okay, is it like between -1 and -2, or is it going to be between 0 and -1? Things like that. So when you put them, find the position on number lines, you want to look at the number. So like -1 and 75 hundredths, you know, is going to be somewhere in here between 1 and 2. And then 5/4, you know, is going to be greater than it. So 5/4 itself, just the positive value here, would be greater than 1, which means this will be actually where you say it's less than -1. So over here, 5/4 would end up being 1 and 1/4, and that's going to still be negative. So -1 over here would still be negative. And 75 hundredths, I think of 75 cents, so it would be 1 and 3/4, 3/4. And then wants them on both number lines. So let me change colors here. And then I would put 1 and 3/4, so I'd split this one in half and then into quarters roughly. And then this would be -1 and 3/4. And then up here would be -1 and 1/4, which then come back to this one. And this one comes back here to this one. Why is it helpful to rename -5/4 and -1 75 hundredths as mixed numbers when plotting these points on number lines? I forgot to do it here. So if you do it right here real quick, it's going to say this would be -5/4, and this here would be -1 and 0.75 or 75 hundredths. Honestly, I don't know about this one. Like this one, I don't know you needed. If you knew the 75 hundredths or 3/4, it is helpful though to get the denominator of fourths, so you know what to split the space into. So that's helpful in terms of renaming this decimal as a fraction. And then the mixed number here helps you know, like, say this was like 9/4. Well, if it was 9/4, you'd have to be 2 and 1/4. So you'd have to know that to go back a little bit further, so you know between which whole numbers you're going. So that's why it's helpful to tell between which whole numbers, and then maybe like how to partition that section so you can better place those numbers on the number